I don't want picture, remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Economic Council on 21st December 2023 reconstituted its ad hoc committee on crude oil theft and also constituted a subcommittee to look into the economy of the country. I was appointed the chairman of the subcommittee on crude oil theft. And the governor of Kwara State and chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, the chairman of the subcommittee on economy. At the last National Economic Council meeting, the ad hoc committee on crude oil theft, chaired by my humble self, presented an interim report. The interim report identified the areas of leakages and weakness and also recommended immediate and possible solutions to be deployed, which includes strengthening the regulatory framework and capacitating the regulatory platforms. Today, additional recommendation was also submitted, and the National Economic Council took judicious note of all recommendations. And while implementing the immediate measures, has requested for us to come with a final report that will serve as a permanent solution to the incident of crude oil thefts in Nigeria. Unfortunately, the chairman of the subcommittee on economy is not here, but has mandated me to also represent him. He did a presentation today, which was not conclusive. He's waiting for the committee report of the National Economic Team of Mr. President which will enable them harmonize and conclude their own assignments. And that will now make it possible for them to bring their final report. So for us, the two subcommittees is still work in progress. And it is our hope that in the next one or two next meetings, a final report will be submitted to the council. Thank you.
Getting unit is, like you said, it's a unit under chaired by the Vice President and it reports to the Presidential Economic Council. The unit is made up of ministers and also governors, one from every region. It's a political region. That is in a sense to have that coordination between federal and the subnational to deliver Mr. President's agenda on food security. As Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, I also briefed Council on the interventions on the 42,000 metric tons of which all had been delivered to all the states, and then 20 trailers of rice per state, and then we have also released over 1,500,000 bags of fertilizer, which is under evacuation by the state governments. Then I also went ahead and briefed Council on the mechanization programs undertaken by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have 4 in place now. One, the Greener Hope, it's a 10-year, $1 billion consortium led by Origin Group to syndicate the Greener Hope agricultural reform, where they would set up 1,000 agro-sector service providers across the country with tractors. We have a minimum of 2,000 tractors a year for the next 5 years, and all other aggregation of commodities is going to be utilizing at least nothing less than 600,000 youths to man these 1,000 service centers. The elaborate plan will be rolled out as soon as it's feasible. The project was passed by FEC on the 25th of June, which was just 2 days ago, and I briefed NEF on that particular project. The other one is the John Deere Tata arrangement, which we are also expecting 2,000 tractors before the end of the year. Then the Greener Imperative project, which is still in the process, in the works, which also is a 950 million euro project that will soon be unveiled. Then the last one and the most recent one is the Belarus tractors, where it seeks to supply 2,000 tractors per year for the next 5 years, with 9,000 implements and spare parts, and 52 service maintenance centers. At the same time, we have also 10 150 horsepower combined harvesters. I visited the factory just recently, about 2 weeks ago. I came back 2 weeks ago, where we inspected the supply line, and within the next 60 days, we're supposed to have started delivery of those tractors and combined harvesters. Then in addition, I also briefed Council the efforts of Mr. President in trying to be the chief marketer-in-chief of Nigeria when Mr. President went to Saudi Arabia in November 2023 for the Saudi African Summit, where I, on the sidelines, met with my counterpart of the Saudi Arabia, the Minister of Agriculture of Saudi Arabia, and discussed the areas of partnership with the agricultural states. And thereafter, precisely on the 9th of May, the Minister of Agriculture of Saudi Arabia paid a return visit to Nigeria. He came here for a 2-day visit in Abuja, where we exposed him to all our agribusiness entrepreneurs, and they had a far-reaching discussion And shortly thereafter, when they left, they sent us an expression of interest that they're interested in 200,000 metric tons of red meat every year and 1 million tons of soya. And we had already last week had a meeting with our entrepreneurs, and we have come out with a roadmap where we can supply and satisfy that demand. We are looking at partnership with the foreign governments, not necessarily trying to ask them to come and invest, but asking them what can we produce so that we can sell to you, so that we can earn foreign exchange. So by and large, these are the programs that we have in place, and the rainy season is upon us now, and we have urged the state governors to assiduously evacuate the fertilizer so that it can be of benefit to our teeming farmers. Fertilizer is to be distributed free of charge. Thank you very much.
As you are aware, today the National Economic Council sat for the 142nd council meetings, where a lot of issues were discussed and resolutions made. Part of today's resolution centered on the nomination of board members for the Niger Delta Power Holdings Company. Niger Delta Power Holdings Company has been operating for quite a long time without the supervisory board. Today, the council deliberated, and after exhaustive discussions, council has finally approved the nomination of the following as members of the board of Niger Delta Power Holding Companies. This nomination cuts across the 6 geopolitical zones of this country. Council nominated the governor of Borno State to represent the Northeast, the governor of Katsina State to represent the Northwest, of course the governor of Imo State to represent the Southeast, Ekiti State governor to represent the Southwest, Kwara State governor, who coincidentally the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, is to represent the North Central. The governor of Akwa Ibom State is equally going to represent the South-South geopolitical zone. Let me see this opportunity to congratulate these gentlemen. And let me equally call on the management of this company to accord all the necessary support to the board members so that collectively they can work together for the progress of this country. Thank you and God bless you.
National issues as it affects the nation. My own committee is an ad hoc committee set up by NEC on flood, erosion, drought, and desertification, which was reconstituted on 22nd of February 2024 to develop a comprehensive an actionable roadmap and strategy to mitigate the impact of natural disaster as it affects our people in Nigeria by profiling recommendations on how best we can prepare and respond to 2024 rainy season. It will interest you to know that today the committee has submitted its report with recommendations to the council, and I'm happy to let you know that the council has approved the recommendations, and Mr. President is quite happy about the report, and he has promised to look into the report with its recommendations for immediate implementation. I want to sincerely thank Mr. President for his urgent commitment for safeguarding the lives and livelihoods of Nigerians from the devastating effects of natural resources, of natural disaster. We are deeply honored for being entrusted with these critical assignments. I sincerely appreciate the members of my committee for their cooperation and understanding all through the entire process, which you have turned up to report today. And I sincerely appreciate the media, well-meaning Nigerians, for their commitment to see that we key into the programs and policies of Mr. President to pull ourselves jointly from this inherited economic crisis. Thank you, and God bless you.
Usual, I gave a report on the excess crude account and other special accounts of government to the National Economic Council. And I reported that the excess crude account, which as we know, is an escrow account set up by the federal government to, into which is paid the difference between the benchmark price of crude used and approved by the National Assembly for the national budget and the world market price at any given time. As of now, there's basically $500,000 in that account, $500,000 US. The stabilization account has 28.7 billion naira, and the natural resources development fund has 53.9 billion naira. In addition to that, the National Economic Council was told of the progress that has been made with the updating and improving of the social register, which of course is the register used to send direct payments to beneficiaries through who have a name and have a BVN and can receive funds digitally into their accounts in a transparent manner. That process has been strengthened and it now needs speeding and scaling up given the situation in the country as far as inflation and elevated prices. And the governors agreed that they would accept the verified register, which they themselves have verified down to the world level, that could be used. And in addition to that, we are looking at ways of essentially improving the mechanism by which payments are made so that they can be made quicker and the verifications that are necessary can be speeded up. In addition, His Excellency, the Vice President and Chairman of the National Economic Council did report on the activation of the Presidential Food System Coordinating Unit. Mr. President has approved that now be operationalized, and I'm sure my colleague, the Minister for Agriculture and Food Security, may have more to say about that, but essentially it is a unit chaired by the Vice President under the Presidential Economic Coordination Council, which is focused particularly at this time of elevated food prices, on food, nutrition, availability, and affordability